after all of that in 13 years, I hear a little rumor that you have an announcement to make.
I do. Yeah, so look, it's kind of with happiness and sadness that I let you know that I have decided to move on from Incy.
Wow.
Yeah, the last 12 months they've been tough, to be honest. They've been really tough. We signed a contract with a big retailer in Australia that most definitely didn't turn out
Mm.
how they promised it would turn out. And we invested heavily in stock and a whole heap of stuff. And that put immense pressure on me, both, personally and business wise. And yeah, I just made a decision that I need to kind of focus on me and my family. And so, look, I'm lucky enough that when I mentioned this, I had the perfect person within the company who actually wanted to purchase it, which was my brother Tom, who we've talked about a little already. So yeah, so my brother Tom has taken over Incy. I'm helping him transition with everything that's going on, and yeah, he'll be the new Incy owner. And
Wow.
yeah,
Well, congratulations, because 13 years in business is no mean feat. It
no,
is so hard. It is so tough, but it is also really hard to recognize when it's time to do something new. I
yeah,
feel like our businesses are so wrapped up in our identity as, well, business owners, as women,
yeah.
and actually making that decision. Talk to me about that, because that can't have been easy.
No, that was incredibly, incredibly difficult. And look, it was not something that I just kind of came to. It's as you said, the identity was a really big thing, and I was really tied up in that.
Mhm.
I had to, I went and saw a psychologist. I was put on Zola for anti-anxiety,
Yeah,
and
wow.
I've been through the whole process. Like it was, if you'd have spoken to me kind of November last year, I was a mess, and I couldn't focus and not making good decisions and, like all sorts of stuff. And it really took a toll on me. And it takes a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work to, just do really basic things like eat healthy and exercise. All these things we absolutely know are good for us.
Yes.
And just focusing on me and my mental health and yeah, and like the team and everything. So look, it was absolutely not an easy decision. It's one I still feel sad about, but I also feel excited too. Like I'm really excited to see what Tom does with it. Tom is so passionate about Incy. There's no one who loves Incy as much as Tom and I. So, it feels really safe handing it over to him.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm excited about what the future holds for me too.
So,
Yeah.
what does the future hold for you?
Yeah, look, I'm still trying to figure it out, but
Mhm.
I've always done mentoring, mainly with business women, no, no men, weirdly, but yeah, business women, and I just love, business, and I love women, and I just love helping them. It's something that really lights me up, and I really love doing. So I'm going to continue doing that. I've got 7 people who I've worked with for the last kind of, anywhere from kind of 2 years to the last kind of 4 months.
Yep.
So yeah, so I'll continue to work with them. I've got an idea for a course which I'm hoping to launch
Yes,
mid
cool.
next month, for all product based future business owners, entrepreneurs. So, I've just tried to take, like the questions I keep getting asked. So how do you manufacture? How do you price this? Like there are a lot of the questions I've received. So that's what the course will be mainly about. But yeah, and just waiting to see what happens. Yeah, I'm just open to whatever, really. I'm just excited to do something else that I'm really passionate about.
I love it. I just think it's so inspiring, because I think, if I reflect back, so I've been in business now like about 12
Oh,
years.
you're similar, yeah.
Yeah, and I look back at the early days, and I just think about how inspired and passionate, and I no trouble staying up till midnight because I just want to get something done. Now I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed.
Mhm.
you know,
Totally. We're
12 years in.
tired. It's a
Oh
lot.
my God,
You know, being
it's
a
so
business
much.
owner is not for the faint-hearted. This is,
Mm.
it's bloody hard work. Like, and I think we should talk more openly about that too. You know, this is not easy. It definitely takes a toll on you mentally and physically and, you know, all sorts of financially, sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Yeah.
Like it, you know, it's everything. And
Mm.
we are so tied up in these businesses and it is so much part of our identity that it's really hard to separate yourself from that. And that's probably the thing I struggled with the most.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because I think, you know, in the small business and business versus startup, there's different rhetoric that goes on. So in kind of the tech startup land, you know, there is an end game. People talk
Yeah.
about selling or
Yep.
listing or the exit, right? But I think as us, maybe we start out as small business owners, we don't really talk about the end, you know, and what that
Yep.
looks like, whether it be and you know, don't get me wrong, some people I know want their businesses for life, and
Yeah.
some people have lifestyle businesses over scalable businesses, and all of the gamuts in between. But you know, I think there is, yes, we should talk about what happens at the end. You know, do we
Yeah.
want to sell this to somebody else? Do we want to just wind it up and move on to the next thing? Do we want to just pivot it and do something completely different because we see what we're doing right now, we're not passionate about anymore, or it's not working anymore, depending on the market?
Yep.
Like, it is okay to pivot, to change, to exit, to move
Yep.
on. You know, that is okay.
And I don't think that's ever spoken about, you know. And I spoke to so many people who'd sold a business because I really wanted to understand, you know, how they felt afterwards. And most of them kind of crash afterwards because it is so much tied to your identity. And then you're not sure who you are and where you fit anymore. And, you know, and then there's always those issues with who you sell to. And, you know, these were all things that I was weighing up when we were making these decisions. You know, a couple of years ago, we'd been approached by a big business to acquire us, you know, and it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it was, I could trust them with something that I
Mm,
had literally spent thousands and thousands of hours working on. And I didn't
okay.
feel like that felt like the right fit. And look, financially, that was, it's definitely going to be a much better option. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, look, so I think, yeah, it is, it's hard to navigate, and I don't think there are enough outlets for people to kind of talk about that stuff or
yeah.
anything really hard. Like, yes, we're really like there's definitely a change and people are starting to talk more honestly about things, but lots of those conversations are had in little groups and on the side. Nothing is really out there.